This is Danielle, this is Mason, and this is Lydia. They are just 3 of thousands of children in southern Indiana with handicaps, disabilities, and special needs. Currently, if their parents wanted to take them to a playground where they can play with children without special needs, they could not find it in Clark or Floyd counties or much of southern Indiana. There's also not a park in southern Indiana that has walking paths and wellness stations designed for senior citizens. But all of that is about to change. The Cherry Hill Neighborhood Association has teamed up with the Jeffersonville Parks and Recreation Department to renovate the Bob Hedge Park. The Bob Hedge Park Renovation Committee has plans and are well along in the process of raising over $500,000 in contributions and in-kind gifts to make their vision a reality. The renovation, once completed, will be a rather unique park for southern Indiana. It will include a special needs playground that those without special needs can also use. It will have walking paths and wellness stations for seniors and people of all ages. And it will be a friendly neighborhood park for all to use. Bob Hedge Park is located just off 10th Street in Jeffersonville between French and Howard Streets near the Census Bureau. From 1911 till 1961, it was the site of the Ingramville Elementary School. Dale Oram, former mayor of Jeffersonville, grew up in the area and is on the committee helping to raise money for the park's renovation. He discusses both.
I grew up in this neighborhood just right over here off the alley, and we played baseball and football and everything in this park, and it was just the center of this whole neighborhood, and we hope to bring that back and make it the center of this neighborhood again with walking paths and playground equipment and safety and all kinds of features for the children. Well, I think it's not only a project for the city of Jeffersonville, but it's a project for southern Indiana. It's just going to be a great project for kids with disabilities and handicaps, and you can't believe what a kid smiling in a wheelchair on a swing can do for your attitude and the attitude of others. And it's a great opportunity for us to be able to help those less fortunate. We can also take those children who have no handicaps or disabilities, and they can also play in this park.
Sandy and Larry Knott were instrumental in getting the renovation project started. She went to the Parks Department to see if any of the playground equipment, some of which had been there since she went to Ingramville Elementary School, had lead-based paint. It didn't. While there, she suggested to the Parks Director that the park could stand some upgrading. He agreed, and the Bob Hedge Park Renovation Committee was formed. Sandy Knott describes the plans they had an architect draw up.
This is what our park is going to look like when the renovation is through. As you can see, we're going to have a very nice parking area, and then the green space with a walking path all the way around the park and down the center of the park. We're going to make the shelter area, it will have the same roof line as the Ingramville Elementary School. That's where the school sat on this property from 1911 to 1961. The Bob Hedge Monument is right here, and then the play area, which is 50 by 170, will be located next to that monument. And the play area will be fenced in for the safety of the children, and it'll have one way in and one way out, so if parents want to sit outside the play area, they can sit in the nice picnic area in the shade trees and watch their children playing in the playground area. And when the child comes out, they will be right there to collect them. We will have a restroom facility. The park does not have a restroom facility at this time, and that's one thing that is going to be very much needed. The benches will be located throughout the park, as well as the period lighting around the park, and then there will be the wellness stations that will be located around the walking path, and there will be hopefully 10 wellness stations, and there are workout stations for the active older adults.
Charlie Reister, a local real estate broker, has his office in the Cherry Hill neighborhood and has been active in the renovation project. He discusses the senior citizens exercise stations.
There'll be a walking path, and the exercise equipment will be along the walking path, and we're working with a company that specializes in exercise equipment for senior citizens, so that it's the proper kind of exercise, the proper kind of exertion for them.
The central piece and the main focus that makes it unique will be the Park for Special Needs Children. Bob Hedge, who the park is named after, also during his life focused on children with special needs. His daughter, Kathy Hedge Mangles, reads part of a poem and a plaque about her father and discusses his life and how it relates to the special needs playground being planned.
By Teddy Throckmorton. It's called A Helping Hand. It says, Robert Hedge is a special man. He's always there with a helping hand. He acts real gruff and kids a lot. His special friend is a tiny tot. A child with need or in ill health, through Bob Hedge, has untold wealth. Through his constant efforts over many years, nearly $500,000 was raised for the benefit of disabled children and others in need. Continue my life in keeping his memory and his good deeds, and helping with this park renovation is just a way of continuing the memory and the good deeds that he did.
In order to get a better understanding of what a special needs park is and why one is needed in southern Indiana, we visited one near the University of Louisville campus with 3 mothers and their special needs children. Rita Badger explains what a park like that would mean to her son, Mason.
Having a park like this would be very well, that way that all the children with special needs, including my son, would have a place to go and gather with typical kids. It's so hard to take a child to a park, and if you look around, there's a lot of activities that he can do. When he's having a good day, he's on a walker, and walking when he's having a bad day, he's in a wheelchair. And by having a park like this, he would be able to do a lot of different things, either in his wheelchair, on his walker, or walking with an adult. Plus being able to have his peers around him, not being isolated out.
Do you find many parks like this anywhere in this area?
No, not at all. A lot of the parks, they say they're accessible, but they might just have a ramp to get somewhere, and a ramp, there's a ramp, but there's nothing from start A to start B.
Are there a lot of parents like you that have special needs children around? Probably more than most people realize?
Oh, there's very much. Southern Indiana has kids from all different disabilities. You have kids with genetic disorders who are in wheelchairs. You have Down syndrome. You have cerebral palsy. You have autism. You have children who are visually impaired, children who are hearing impaired. So the focus isn't just on kids who are in wheelchairs.
Karen Reese's daughter, Lydia, is autistic. She discusses what a special needs park would mean to her.
A park like this means a lot to me because my daughter is autistic and she is a runner, and so she takes off, and if she has no physical boundaries, she will run away, and she has no sense of danger, and without a fence, she will be in harm's way. My daughter belongs to a challenger baseball league, and I talk to a lot of the parents of the children on my baseball team, and they are absolutely thrilled. They cannot wait for this park to be done because there is such a call for it in southern Indiana. I believe that my daughter's teacher, who teaches a multiply handicapped class, I believe that she would bring kids on a field trip to a place like that if it was available in southern Indiana, where they didn't have to drive far so that it wouldn't take them long to get there. I believe that it would be very much used, and I mean, I think once you put the word out that it was there, it would fill up.
Valerie Shealy's daughter, Danielle, is confined to a wheelchair. She discusses other children's reaction to that.
And the typical children, they just step aside when Danielle's coming through, and they don't, she doesn't bother them or they don't bother her. They end up playing together once they get used to the wheelchair, because it's something that they're not used to seeing. But once we're in an environment where they're used to seeing it, then they all fellowship together.
And it benefits both of them.
And it benefits both. But she doesn't have access to anything. She can't go anywhere. She just has to sit and watch everybody else play. And self-esteem is very important. Especially she's 8 years old. She's, cognitively at her age. And it's really hard for her to watch the kids having a good time and her have to sit and just watch them, so a lot of times we just don't go. But what I've noticed here is this is a lot of it set up for special needs, but the typical children are having more fun with this kind of stuff than they are in a regular park.
Pat Howard, the Director of Lifespan Resources, the area's agency on aging, discusses the intergenerational aspect of having special needs children and seniors in the same park.
I think that is unique, and I think that that would provide opportunities for some intergenerational programming with the seniors and the children as they interact within the same space. So I just think it's a win-win situation for everyone. And I think it also shows what the community can accomplish when it pulls together. This has all been done through volunteer efforts, and I think that's remarkable.
Whoa!
You're breaking the speed limit.
Well, we're trying
to get away from the cops, so what do you think? Okay, let's limbo. Limbo. Here, go do the limbo, go. Movie! Movie!